Spurs and Fulham. We talked a lot about Spurs, Tim, and what they need to do to separate from the bottom three. If they lose this game, a lot of the headlines will be on Spurs. But should we give some love to Fulham?
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. This is Jonas Brasco. How's everyone doing right now? I'm just making sure everything's ready to rock and roll. We got about 5 minutes before actual kickoff. Check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. This is Jonas Brasco. How's everyone doing right now? Yeah, we got about 5 minutes still. 5 minutes till kickoff. Not much to say about this except the stuff you already know. About 5 minutes before actual kickoff. Mhm. You got lineups on this. Okay. Sorry, starting lineups on the screen. 5 minutes till kickoff. Not much to I mean, the tail of the tape on this game is pretty much simple. Tottenham trying to. Tottenham is banged up. They're in 16th, 29 at 29 points. West 4 points from the drop zone. Nottingham Forest has 27 and West Ham has 25. This match is at Craven Cottage. And you see you see the lineup and it's just, what, Tottenham's coming in, does not matter how. Okay. You know what? Deep breath. We're going to get there. It's that initial, getting on. There's still a little bit of butterflies no matter how long you've been doing this. And this is my first full season doing this, but let's get this. Yeah. There's one other game. All right, we're ready. We are absolutely ready. So, let's make this simple. Nottingham Forest and Brighton are playing later on, playing same time today. Forest wins, they can go, and Spurs loses, they can go right up on them. West Ham lost their game against Liverpool 5-2. They're okay. Burnley lost their game to Brentford 4-3. We all know Wolves beat Aston Villa, and Manchester City may be in trouble, but that's a law thing. And of course, no team wants to rely on that in order to stay up. Fulham, they're currently in 10th. They're 2 points behind Bournemouth, tied on points with Sunderland, but because of their win over Sunderland last week, Fulham does have a slightly better goal differential. Sunderland, just for people who are curious, they drew yesterday, 1-1 with Bournemouth. So for Fulham fans, that was actually the best. Okay, I don't think I was close enough, but for Fulham fans, that actually was the best case scenario. Yeah. Besides that, there's only one more game happening at the same time. It's Manchester United versus Crystal Palace, and then the late game Arsenal Chelsea, which it's you got to cheer for Arsenal in that one. Chelsea's at 45, currently in sixth place. You're trying to get into a European place. You gotta hope certain things go your way. But it looks like this one. No, they still got the stream I'm at. We currently have there's still commercials and stuff happening, but you have not approached kickoff yet. Also, there's no Olympics this time. No Olympics, no gold medal game. So hopefully the stream should be steady as she goes. I have to admit, it kind of. I'm glad that the U.S. won over Canada, but really, did they have to go into overtime for that one? That really, really, that really hurt my stream a little bit. But nonetheless, I'm still glad. You know, a lot of pride, a lot of happiness. I do know if you were one of those that who watched Elimination Chamber last night, you may have been a little bit disappointed with Fulham. They're coming out. They're in all white kits. Tottenham. This is kind of weird to say. They're in all black. I'm not actually used to that. But that shouldn't be a problem. There's one more things that we forgot to do because, as always, no spoilers, please. Nothing against spoilers, but they do ruin the game for people who are watching the stream. So let's not do that. And kick off as happened. One thing no one wants, but could be interesting if Fulham is if Fulham can score again within the first 6 minutes. Like that would I gotta admit that would be kind of cool. It was Tete who let it happen in the first half last time, and then yeah, Tete in the 4th minute, Harry Wilson in 6th minute, and that was all that was needed to beat Spurs. Did score. Mohamed Kudus did score in the 59th minute in that game, but Fulham was able to hold on to one. Unfortunately, at this time, Tottenham is not just dealing with a lot of injuries, but Christian Romero is also suspended with a red card. Ben Davis, ankles. Destiny, muscle injury. Dijon, knee injury. Madison, ligament injury. Bergvall, leg injury. You get the idea. I don't want to continue that. But Fulham has also struggled against teams below them in the table. So no one should be taking this game for granted whatsoever. There are no easy wins. We're gonna speed up our timer just a little bit. No, it did not find Gallagher. But Tottenham doing a good job just like going at it early. Iwobi's able to get it out. Sessegnon. Yeah, and one thing that yes, there's now we do have some former club things. Sessegnon, of course, came over from Tottenham, formerly with Fulham in the beginning. Pelhina, which we really kind of wish was in the middle, but is not. Probably one of the biggest changes for Fulham is Issa Diop is getting the start instead of Cuenca. So I'm a bit surprised. but he can hold the ball and he can defend if necessary. He's not a shooter, and that's perfectly fine. It's like he kind of knows his place. There's a push, blatant push by Dragonson, and it's going to be a free kick for Fulham. And yes, João Palhinha will definitely be a factor, but yeah, that was a pretty blatant foul on Jimenez. And one thing Tottenham for what they're at, like again, I'm expecting to come out very very aggressive. They got nothing to lose. Outside of the possibility of relegation, they have nothing to lose. So I'm expecting them to give everything they can. They can't worry about the injuries. They can't really worry about the red card. There's nothing that the 11 men on the pitch can do about that. It was headed back, but easily dealt with. Gets as far Tottenham gets it out of the way, gets as far back as it will be, but they maintain possession. Solanke was running, almost got to it actually, but Iwobi is able to get it back to Leno, and Fulham's going to restart again. And luckily, I'm glad I'm not a betting man because if I was, I would probably put this one at a draw. But at the same time, I'm kind of hoping, if not a win, a draw. Sadly, Fulham has been relegated anytime they fell below 6 draws on a season. And that's a horrible thing to say, but that is a stat that you don't want to keep in mind, but keep in mind. But Brighton has lit it up. It's 1-0 Brighton. Man, Crystal Palace 1-0 over Manchester United. Fulham 0-0 right now. Ball kind of moving around a little bit more. We're creeping into the 7th minute. Tete Jimenez passing it back. And just like that, Fulham scores. Harry Wilson. You know it had to be somebody, and you knew it had to be Harry Wilson. 1-0 Fulham. They're Fulham. They're checking for a push right now. Okay, there is a push, but it's the Tottenham player with the push. Okay, hang on. They are still good. They are good to VAR on this one. So let's. Yeah, yeah. Please stand by. We're standing by, folks. I want to confirm, but I cannot. We're hearing lots of boos from the crowd. Check is complete. And just like that, 1-0 Fulham, Harry Wilson, 7th minute. It is a goal for Harry Wilson. That's 9 on the season. No, I don't think there was enough there. Was there a slight push? Absolutely. Does does so Tottenham again has given up a goal within the first 10 minutes. And now there's Tottenham scrambling, but it's going to be a break. Bob, what about Bob? A slide by Sessignon, and it's going to be a corner. But no, Dragosin definitely did a good job sliding and getting to that one. Man, that was Bassi. He's going for a corner. Bassi get the corner comes in. Bassi gets like he's trying to get ahead to it. There is a, I mean, they're fighting for it. It does go off of Bassi. It's gonna be a goal kick. Twenty twenty 20 the 2003-2004 season, the only time Fulham has pulled the double over Tottenham. They'll try to be a little too fancy there. But if Fulham needs to win this, the same thing is usually the case: is score 2 goals or keep a clean sheet. Question becomes which is more likely, as it's been 10 games since Fulham has kept a clean sheet. Actually, sorry, 11. Diop, Issa Diop, that's why he's there. It's very well. Tottenham still keeping pressure. Having Fulham having to keep the ball. Leno has to get it out. Tottenham comes in with a great header. Iwobi trying to get that loft. There is a foul. It look it's Dragonson and Jimenez that are down. Yeah, Dragonson wins the header, gets Rao in the head, completely accidental, going straight for the ball. No issues there. Absolutely no issues there with that one. Jimenez still down. Diop and Marco Silva. They're talking on the bench. Bassey's also on the bench. Well, so now everyone's coming back. They're trying to plan some stuff out because get some water because this needs to be like the same game. Fulham needs to strike quickly. Jimenez may be down. I don't know if you put in Rodrigo Muniz immediately, but just so people can see the subs, you do have Rodrigo Muniz, you have Chukwueze. Um, as far as your strikers, beyond that, I wouldn't. I can't see them putting in Tom Carney yet or Joshua King. You know, Muniz is. Oh, sorry. Jimenez is up, kind of walking. Now, of course, he has to go to the bench because it was play with stoppage for a head injury. Yeah, we're just waiting for the. He waved on, and as always, and this will be pinned. Back into it. Fulham, two shots. Of course, one of them's on goal. Tottenham, nothing so far. This game is still early. And wow, that Brighton Nottingham Forest game has. Okay, they're going at it. It's 2-1 Brighton. And they're only 15 minutes into that one. And Tottenham does get the corner. And of course, we're just going to leave that there. Those are the rules. No spoilers, be respectful, yada yada. Very much. You can see that, yeah, they're all on that back left shot, and it just Pedro Paro. I mean, tried a good. It was I mean, the ball for him, it was a little awkward, but it wasn't. It was definitely an opportunity. If it could have gone down maybe a little bit lower to get a shot on frame. But definitely welcome to the first half. We're in the 17th minute. It is 1-0 Fulham. Harry Wilson got it going in the 7th minute. Wilson tried. No. Luckily, Raul was able to get off the defender. It's going to be a throw in for Fulham. They're going to kick it back to Diop. Diop to Bassi. Back to Diop. It's going to go all the way back to Leno. All right, and they were just mentioning that because Joaquin Anderson is not in the lineup. So, sorry. There we go. That does get that back on. Palace still up 1-0 on Manchester United. And just to clear something up. Oh, someone had sent me a message. Okay, that was sorry. Tete shot it. I thought there was a foul, but Wilson, no, Wilson gets to it. Kenny Tete tried to drag it. Then he just dragged it wide. Sorry, dragged it wide of the net. Actually, not wide right, but close. Throwing for Tottenham. Fulham, keen pressure. They won in offsides. Tottenham does have a man down. Pedro Parra is the one down. Fulham keeping that pressure on, but Tottenham still maintaining possession. Fulham tried to get it back, but I think there was a foul by Jimenez, and it's going to be a free kick for Spurs. Pedro Parra. Okay, that's a late. All right, a late step by Sanderberg. There's been concern about Sanderberg's play as of late, so I think he may have been a little bit lucky not to get a yellow on that. But I don't think the keeper, not the keeper. I don't think the linesman or the ref saw that. But Tottenham is in the box, slightly outside. Fulham being very defensive. Cross. Gallagher tried to, and yeah, it's out that time. Coco Milani did his best to try to keep it, but it just still spent out, and it's gonna be a cold kick for Fulham. I want to thank everyone who's maintained and stayed with the stream. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. I know there are a lot of Spurs streamers out there, but you decided to spend your time with me, so I appreciate it. And there's going the stat of Spurs not having is the only club in the Premier League to not have a win in the 2026 calendar year. And we are now in March. We actually have not heard a lot from Smith Rowe in this game. And there's some people that's like, yeah, it's we're paying him too much to not be as productive as a Harry Wilson or even an Alex Iwobi. It went out of play on Gallagher, so it's going to be a throw in for Fulham. The game has slowed down a little bit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But Fulham should, to really have a chance of taking all 3 points, Fulham definitely needs to go ahead and score again in the second half. Because, yeah, a goal by a goal by Spurs before the end of the first half would definitely be demoralizing, especially as well as Fulham has played in this half. Apologize. The weather's kind of dry in my area, so Mullally with the pull. He's knocked out to the ref a little bit, but it is going to be a free kick from Fulham. And we've already got to the halfway point of this half. Despite everything, this game has been going pretty quickly. There may be a couple of minutes of extra time. I will put maybe 3 minutes right now because of Jimenez's head injury and the goal by Harry Wilson, but I don't see any more than that so far. And also mention that, yeah, Spurs winless in their last 9 matches. And they're saying that they've only gone winless once in 10 matches back in 1994. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1994. Their next three fixtures are Crystal Palace, at Liverpool, and Nottingham Forest. Depending on what happens here, that Nottingham Forest game may be very, very important to get a good result on that one. Bob tried to get to it. Dragonson nearly. I mean, it was on goal, but it looked a little more like it was just trying to lob and get that out of the area versus actually get it on frame. Bob would have been offsides if he would have gone after that ball. So, but Vicario boots it out, and now it's just some awkward passing back and forth between both these teams. Oh, great tackle! Great tackle by Diop. Tottenham was on the break. Yeah. Sessegnon just went too far ahead with Oscar Bob. Tottenham retakes possession. 25th minute, and Palace still up 1-0 on Manchester United. Brighton still up 2-1 on Nottingham Forest. Which right now that result is very, very good for Tottenham. Yeah, for Tottenham. Because as it stands, because of that, that's really keeping Tottenham in 16th right now. But Milani, yeah, it was a good run. Just Diop with a better tackle. And yeah, the commentators are like perfection, but no, that was a really, really good tackle. That was a really, really good tackle. And it's gonna be thrown for Fulham. Now in the 27th minute, okay, the game has slowed down quite a bit. There hasn't really been any shots on goal as of late from either team. And sometimes that's just what happens. You can't go full throttle the entire time. And Fulham, for the most part, and I don't want to knock on. Well, I can't have wood, so I'm going to knock on for Micah has only had one foul in this game. And of course, I was expecting Tottenham to be a little bit more aggressive because when you're fighting like this, and now they're coming from behind. I mean, yes, there were two goals down, and you know in the 6th minute in the last game, you're only one goal down after the 7th minute here. If you're Fulham, you are attacking. Yeah, there was a foul, but they're going to allow that to go. It was a slight nudge, but it wasn't like I think if Wilson actually had the ball and that happened, then yeah, you may have been arguing for a penalty, but no, it was they're both going for it, and it's just that slight push. And Thomas Brawmall is the ref for this game. I hadn't mentioned that yet. Sessegnon throws it in, back to Diop, and we're gonna have Tete. And it's going to go all the way back to Leno. Leno way outside the box, slowly slipping back in. That could have easily been a mistake for Fulham, just like what happened there with Jimenez giving the ball back to Tottenham. And it was the former Fulham man himself, Polina. Tottenham gets it. Milani goes out, fighting it off of Bassi. They're going to give it. And Bassi, great defense there. It's going to be a throw in for Fulham. Kenny Tete with the throw in. and, and they're mentioning that Fulham is trying to get a little bit more offense on that right side. And Tete, it's been really good since he's been back. But other than Anderson, Anderson being out with not feeling too well, Lukic is trying to still get back into fitness. But Kevin, there has not. He'd been playing really good, and then just went down last week against Sunderland. And his season, I hope not, but his season may be for the most part over. Jimenez with the pick off, but Spurs are still going to maintain possessions. Don't. Sessegnon tried to get it, but instead it goes out, and it's going to be a throw in for Tottenham. 31st minute, still 1-0 Fulham. Again, not expecting a lot of stoppage, with the exception really of the goal and the head injury to Jimenez. The game has been pretty interruption free. Some free flowing, but oh yeah, sorry, there was a VAR, but I'm still only picking about 3 minutes from this. Bassi is fouled by Milani, and he has his head on them. He's really hoping not to get a yellow card. He's like, please, please, don't give me yellow. The ref looks like he's giving him just a warning. Just a warning. And just so we don't, just in case Tottenham has to make an early change, that's who's on the bench. And one thing that's very interesting on the Tottenham bench compared to most teams is they have two keepers on the bench. Tottenham is one of the very few teams that actually has three keepers in their lineup. And if there's any Spurs fans that can explain if there's something special about that, please let me know in the chat. Harry Wilson. It's still Iwobi. Finds Tete. Oscar Bob. Nope. Sess. And it's going to go out. It was a deflection. It's going to be a foam throw by Tete. Tete gets to Iwobi. Out to Sanderberg. Sanderberg back to Bassi. Bassi has scored this season. Iwobi. Finds Sarah Wilson. Iwobi shot! Alex Iwobi, wonderful goal. 2-0 Fulham. And I think Harry Wilson's going to get the assist on that. Well done. Nicely done. 34th minute, Alex Iwobi. That was. I'm not gonna lie. That is definitely That's one of the best goals I've seen this season from Fulham, and I've seen some really good ones. But lots of space. It's like gets it to Wilson. Wilson finds Iwobi. Iwobi's outside the box. Gets that left bottom corner. I can't really blame Vicario on that. He did see it late. And it's just, it goes off the post, it goes in, it is. And just like that, the same thing that happened last time. It is 2-0 Fulham late going into the first half. For Iwobi, that's his 4th of the season. And you just see the Tottenham coach. I'm so used to doing this for Marco Silva, but it's very, very rare to watch and see another coach doing that. And we don't have to say, what's going on with Spurs. Even though, on a side note, they may be glad to know that Son, even though you may have wished to have him, got a red card yesterday for LAFC. Bassi fighting. Bassi. Yeah, Bassi was just outnumbered. Suma, he takes it for a deflection off of Diop, and I think Spurs are going to get their second quarter of the game. Like, Captain Bassi was fighting hard. It was just he was surrounded. Oscar Bob, not known for his defense, was trying to help out, but that time happened. Time to regain possession and got into the position we are now. A short corner. And yes, Spurs definitely need something before halftime. 2-1 again. Fulham has not kept a clean sheet in such a long time. It's not even funny, and it's going to go out because of Jimenez. He was trying to get back to Leno. Does not happen. It's going to be another corner for Tottenham. Yeah, you don't. That was not a smart thing by Jimenez. And then, of course, you're the commentators. Let's face it, the commentators are, who they're going for. And Dragishin just over the bar. It's gonna be a free kick goal kick. The other two games still not much changes. Brighton, I should mention that the old guard Danny Welbeck is still scoring. He scored in the 15th minute. Gomez gets in the 6th for Brighton, and Gibbs White, he's still fighting it. But still, Danny Welbeck, I don't know that man. I don't want to call 35 ancient, I don't want to call 35 ancient, but he's still scoring goals. And of course, they're talking about the Europa League 16 years ago. Great. They're going to call that, they're going to say that Tete got ahead to it. And it's going to be another corner for Tottenham again, being a little bit more aggressive. Tete, I don't know if he actually got ahead to that. They're going to show this in slow mo. Yes, he does. Tete does get ahead. That is a corner for Tottenham. But great, but still. And Tottenham does have more corners. Leno gets to it, punches it out, but only goes as a certain. Doesn't go that far. Tottenham resetting. They've had the ball in Fulham's half pretty well for the last 5 minutes. Going towards that back shot, nicely deflected by Bassi, but another and deflected by Bassi again. It's going to go out for a Tottenham throw. Calvin Bassi has been stalwart. And that's, I mean, yes, Fulham had a great run during AFCON, but they can't say they didn't miss Calvin Bassi. Sadly, Bassi had been a little bit more aggressive, slides through, and this time it is not a Tottenham corner. And the Fulham defense can have a little bit of time, I won't say to rest, but they do have a moment to just chill. And they're talking about they will be goal, maybe. I mean, it's literally the first day, but yeah, goal of the month, maybe. Oh, Smith Rowe and Wilson were really going after that one. Tottenham, again, being a little bit more aggressive. Sanderberg, a bit of a push. Wilson is, yeah, Wilson does the throw in this time. You're saying, why wouldn't you want to play in Europe for Fulham? And that's, no, I mean, it's not out of the question, but we're now talking less about Europe and more about, hey, you need goals. And that's what be the thing that keeps Fulham out of Europe is they need to get that goal differential up. Great deflections. Oscar Bob, back to Bassi. Diop, Fulham again. Tottenham is pressing high. They know they need something to get back into this. Obi slide in. Fulham still maintaining possession. I think Wilson was trying to make a run towards the middle. Bassi. And there is a foul. And it's another. Is another Milani foul? No, not this time. This time that was Conor Gallagher. And they're talking about Spurs next match. They'll begin Crystal Palace, Fulham. Actually, let's check that out. They get West Ham on Wednesday. Is that game is big, not just for Fulham, but for West Ham, and maybe most of all, big for Tottenham. Cross into the box. Vicario was able to grab it. Wow, that was very, very close. Because you see, he's looking. He was looking for Jimenez, but it does not spill out. Vicario just keeps it on. Is able to get a boot on that. And just like that, we are realistically almost to the end of the first half now. We're in the 45th minute. There has not been an indicator of stoppage yet. Did he get a third before halftime would be Sessegnon trying to get into the box, but instead it's going to be a corner for Fulham. It's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time for this one. And for that back, Bob tried to. Bob swung it in. Bassi got to it, and Bassi just. I don't know if I can't blame Bassi on that. It's just it came in awkward. If it was anywhere like close to the ground, I think Bassi would have had a good chance to get it on frame. But it's also awkward getting to Bob, even more awkward to Bassi. And Bassi knows he should have done better. Bassi knows he should have done better. But as you see, the next few games are literally the team Spurs. Like this is all, with the exception of the Southampton Cup game. All of these are like really relegation battles. West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Burnley. So while things don't look good for Tottenham at this moment, that does not mean they won't be cheering for Fulham in these next few matches. Iwobi trying to get to Tete. Tete. Find Iwobi. Iwobi into the box. Paulinha is able to get it back to Vicario. Vicario gets to hold on to it. The Fulham crowd is applauding. This was the score going into half in the first game. Can Fulham get one more, or can Tottenham get back into this game with getting one on frame? Yeah, and just like that, Tottenham with a throw in, but Fulham's easily able to get back really quickly. It's going to be currently 48th minute. And you can hear the slight boos coming from the Tottenham crowd. And rightly so. I mean, There's no other way to say it. It's deserved. It is definitely deserved. I mean, in Tottenham, they have another half. This is not by any means over. That whistle should be going off any minute now. And if trying to find one last attempt, but it does not look like that's going to happen before the half. They're saying Burnley and Wolves. Man, they're just not even. And just like I don't think you would have said, what would you expect? Would you expect this game to be 2-0 at the end of the first half? Well, if you watch the last game, the answer is yes. But otherwise, no, I would not. But that's what we're at. 2-0 into the first half. If I'm Spurs, I'm like, what can you really do to get back into this? Who do you have on the bench that can make that, can make the change? Because to be fair, I'm not putting this. I don't think you can put this on Vicario. I think Vicario has realistically done everything that he could possibly do in this game. I mean, I realistically think that he has done everything that he possibly can. And the stat sheet also is make that clear as well. Actually, I mean that's the thing. Spurs have had more shots. Spurs have had more shots, more corners. It's just what the difference is really, well, also more fouls. But the difference is realistically Fulham 2 shots on goal, 2 goals. Spurs no shots on goal, no goals. That's realistically the only thing that's happened so far. But what a but still a I won't even say dominant first half. I feel that's a weird. I feel like that's weird to say. Like I don't want to say that. I'm realistically hoping that for everyone who is wondering, you know, they won a game. They won a good. I want to say a good game, but competitive. So I'm expecting, and I think if you're a Fulham fan, you already know. It's that first 5 to 10 minutes of the second half is, I won't say is really going to determine it, but it may be one of the key factors easily moving forward. So if you're a Spurs fan, definitely do not give up hope. This may not be the best game, but no matter what happens, you have to. If you're not playing to win or draw, then you are playing for goal differential. That's first. But first things first. Spurs has to get a goal. Fulham to get a third here may actually put this game away. but that's still 10 minutes away. We're going to step away for a moment. Get your beverages, get your snackies, do whatever you need to do. And I will be back. Once again, this is Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham. Score at halftime: Fulham 2, Spurs nil. Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi have the goals for Fulham. And we'll be right back. And we are back. Second half is about to kick off. It does not look like there are any changes in the substitutions. Sorry, changes in the lineup. With that being said, it is on. Second half is about to kick off. On with the show. Does not look like there are any changes in the substitutions. Sorry, changes in the lineup. Oh, slight audio issue, but there we go. And now they're trying to say this task may. Okay, people have hopped in for the second half of this stream. I guess the question is, who do you really put in for Spurs? If there's anyone that you can really put in. But again, we're here. Second half has kicked off. This is Jonas Braskewell at the Fulham. Tail of the tape so far. Harry Wilson got the scoring started in the 7th minute. Alex Iwobi gets it into the second half, and just like that, there was a quick break. Keeper had to come out. No changes. And considering that Tottenham has 2 keepers on the bench right now, what options do they really have moving forward? And if there's any Spurs people in the chat, please feel free to say something. I'm not so much. Oscar Bob was able to slip by and was able to force a throw in. But there were 3 Spurs players marking. Throw into the box for Sessegnon, but it is easily intercepted. And Spurs slightly able to deal with the danger. Iwobi finds Tete. And it looked like they were trying to. He was trying to find a Iwobi. Tete was trying to find a Iwobi, but that does not happen. Vicario slowing things down. Again, these first 5 to 10 minutes of the second half may actually set the tone. Now, Spurs, last time they did score, it's sadly someone who was injured. It was Cuttis, and it was the 59th minute. Mulani, slight push by Bassi. Bassi has possession. Trying to find Jimenez. He does, but Jimenez couldn't really get a good touch on it, and it goes out for a throw-in for Tottenham. Man U, I forgot to say this, but they've said screw that with Xerxes and Mount scoring, and they are able to get the 2-1 win over Crystal Palace. Brighton, Forest is final. So, sorry, that's not the case. I was looking at the previous game. So, I apologize for that. Let's try to give you better updates. 50th minute, Brighton 2-1 over Forest. Crystal Palace 1-0 over Manchester United. And of course, the match you're watching now, Fulham 2-0 over Spurs. In earlier matchups of this week, Wolves got that 2-0 win over Villa. Bournemouth and Sunderland with the draws. 1-1. Fulham, they benefit from that. Brentford barely gets past Burnley with a 4-3 win. Liverpool does exactly what they're supposed to do, 5-2 over West Ham. Everton beats Newcastle 3-2. Leeds, in a hard-fought game, still lost 1-0 to Manchester City. Iwobi getting him back to Sessegnon. Sessegnon tried to, wow, okay, a little bit too ambitious. And we got a like, so thank you. Not a lot of people watching the stream, but I knew this was happening because there are a lot of Spurs streamers, and I'm sure for entertainment value, everyone's watching them crash out. So, let the fans enjoy the crash out. That's what they want to see. Me, I'm gonna comment exactly what I see. I'm a Fulham fan, so I'm gonna enjoy this as long as I can enjoy it. And now the goal is for Fulham, be stalwart, hold this out. Let's not have a 2-1 replete. Let's see if we can actually get a clean sheet. Bassey. Axe finds Bob. Bob is able to. Well, it was almost. It looked like it was going to go off the Spurs players. Doesn't happen now. Oscar Bob has it. Oscar Bob going to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe shot right across the face. Oh man, Smith Rowe. He knows this should be 3-0. It was a great counter, like Oscar Bob with the break tries to get to Smith Rowe, and it was just he had to hesitate because he was offsides. Otherwise, there would not been an offsides in this game. He had to try. Jimenez just got there a little bit late, and there's a push. And we were talking before the game. It's you know we should be expecting more out of Smith Rowe. What's the deal with that? And Vicario, I don't know what was there. I don't know. Vicario just like booted it to the other side. I don't know what the Spurs fans. There doesn't seem to be any of them in the chat, so I don't know what they're thinking. But interception, caught Gallagher cross, and again, Tottenham has not had any shots on goal yet. Nice layoff, trying to find Oscar Bob. Bob's able to keep it inside. Iwobi has it. Okay, very questionable still with possession. Sanderberg's able to get it back. And just like that, you're hearing some audible boos. I mean, this is a London game. This is a London derby, so you're gonna have fans from Tottenham in here. Bob tries to lay it off for Iwobi. No, Sessegnon. But now Spurs on a break. Milani, Diop, great job with the defense. But now they're trying to. Nope, that's not a corner. He gets to the ball. But there's again Issa Diop. There's a reason he's starting. I'm glad that they're giving him the opportunity, and it's going to be a goal kick for Fulham. That was a fair challenge. I'm not even gonna. But still, for Tottenham, that's what you need. Coco Milani, at least he was attacking. There was some life in that, and just like there's some life in this, Jimenez trying to find Oscar Bob. Again, you can't just work that left side. Emil Smith Rowe, Oscar Bob, Hirobi, a Bob shot, and it was deflected. It's going to be a corner for Fulham. It was very Bob kicks it Jimenez, and it just that's a good defensive Van de Ven with a great defensive stop. It's yeah, because otherwise, if it wasn't for that, that could have easily been 3-0. And Fulham with fifth corner, Awobi taking the corner. It's a goal kick. There was a little. There's gonna say it went off of Tete. I don't know if that's the case, but it definitely was close. And yeah, they're saying now the only like that first 10 minutes, both things could have happened. And Spurs are just literally Fulham needed to take care of this. They have not. The longer this game is at 2-0, the more Spurs are going to feel like they have an opportunity to get into this game. And it goes off of Bob. It's going to be thrown, and it looks like they're Tottenham's starting to make some substitutions now. Like it now you got to think that okay, maybe we can find our way into this game. And it looks like Spurs are going to make their first couple of substitutions. Sanderberg with the ball and is fouled. It looks like okay, Matitel's going to come on. Of course, he's your striker, so no surprise there. They do also have Charleston is also on the bench as well. So that's Tottenham's bench. They do have options. It's a run. Jimenez finds Harry Wilson. It's deflected. Oh, that should have been a handball. Polini. Okay. I like to bring that one back. Manchester United do get on the board. I want to see the replay on that. Gallagher taken away by Tete. Tete was trying to find a Wobie. Fulham gets it back. And Milani, another foul. Issa Diop may. I don't think he's going to get man of the match because of the goals that have happened, but it has been a great. And it's going to be 3 substitutions. Papasar, Richarlison, and Matistel are all coming in. And yeah, there's no surprise on these substitutions by any means. You can't. I don't think you have to. I don't think anyone should be surprised by any of these changes. So Matistel coming in for Coco Milani, that may be, and that is a good immediate change because Milani, I'm still surprised, has not had a card yet. And of course, these commentators, no surprise there, but they are definitely going for Spurs to get something back. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. We know where we are, we know what we're dealing with. Conor Gallagher has not had a great game. All right. All the substitutions have been switched on. And now Tottenham only has 2 left, but depending on what happens shortly, it may not necessarily be a bad thing. And okay, so I'm curious on this So how happened? Okay, it was the goal scorer Maxime Lacroix got a red, and of course Bruno Fernandez gets the penalty, and that's why this is 1-1. So that's going to be interesting to see how that game ends. Crystal Palace does not normally get red cards. Smith Rowe, there's a pull in the back. Advantage is being played for Fulham. Wilson was trying to get towards the center. He had it maybe a little too long, and they blatant foul by Diop, and that's gonna get a red. No, not a red, but it's gonna get a yellow. And rightly so. I wish I could say differently, but no, rightly so. Blatant block, blatant yellow card. Did not need to do that. He did not need to do that. And just like that, the first yellow ticket of the game. And with that slowing down just a little bit, 60th minute, we now got to see with Silva if Silva how aggressive he wants to be here. Because you may be talking, oh, nice attempt by Spurs. Sanderberg, great job with that. Iwobi with the ball, gets it out to Oscar Bob. Back to Iwobi. Towards the center. Smith Rowe tried to make the turn, did not quite happen. Oscar Bob still keeping the ball, sends it back. Crowd is loving the play of just keeping some possession, maintaining. And that's how Fulham's gonna win. It's just like Tottenham can't score if they don't get the ball. Slip, but Bob finds a Wobie in the center. Smith Rowe! Vicario, good save. Smith Rowe, definitely too late on that one. That again, that could have been 3-0, but that was a very good save by Vicario. Don't take anything away from them. And literally, Vicario for Tottenham, even though it's 2-0, that's still probably your man of the match. Like Smith Rowe, I know he wants the goal. He's late on that, but that is a great save by Vicario. It's going to be a corner for Fulham. Nothing on that one. Tell kept it. Richarlison not going to get to that. Fulham keeping possession. Oscar Bob. Ryan Sessegnon has had a really good game as well. And Fulham on the break. Oh, very late challenge on. And the captain, yeah, the captain gets one. The captain gets a yellow. And Van der Ven, just a blatant challenge. No, that was not needed. Both cards have not been needed by either team. They weren't necessary. It's going to be a free kick. Harry Wilson. Wilson into the box. Nothing there. Was looking for Bassi. Out to back to back to Leno. Leno trying to deal with this, but a little too far. Vanderven tell Greg Richarlison and ah, there's some whistles. There's some fighting between him and Bassie. And there was a little bit, but yeah, not Spurs were building up play. Richarlison and Bassie are going to get cards for that. Mm. But it was a good header. And what sucks again, Fulham not able to keep a clean sheet. Richarlison and Bassie. Yeah, there's some. Oh my! And just like that, okay. Nope, nope. Yeah, some tickets are being exchanged, and yes, I mean 2-1, game on, and you can hear the crowd. Yes, and just like that, it's a corner. And yeah, you can hear the Spurs crowd now. They know it's game on, and we all know it's. And if you're a Fulham fan, again, this is what you were fearing. This is actually you can't even say you're fearing this. It's just this is what happened. This was what's expected if you can't put it away. And I literally said, if you're Fulham, two things have to happen. You either score third or you keep a clean sheet. That clean sheet did not happen. And so that's why we are where we are. Feed is being very weird, but and of course with Palace playing only with 10 men, Manchester United has taken the lead in that one. And once again, Leno, I can't even be upset at Leno. That was a just a bad defensive breakdown. But yes, you can hear the Spurs crowd. They know they can get a point now. They know they can get a win. And once they said Fulham has not had pulled the double over Spurs since 2003 2004 season, which I think was literally like their second season in the Prem. Richarlison header, 66 minute. I mean, exact what happened is what you would expect. Spurs, three substitutions. Richarlison leads. I mean, he leads Spurs with 8 goals. But yeah, header back right side of the net easily. Leno couldn't get to it, and once again, Fulham unable to keep a clean sheet. Fulham had plenty of chances to score in the second half, with the last one being Emil Smith Rowe denied by a great save by Vicario. And just like that, Vicario has kept Tottenham in the game, and now Tottenham has this opportunity. I know you can't hear it due to copyright and stuff, but the crowd is rocking, and now Fulham is making some substitutions. It looks like Tom Carney's going to come in. It looks like Samuel Chukwueze is going to come in. I mean, this is where you got to have that. You got to. You can't leave. You got to finish your plate. It looks like Rodrigo Muniz is going to come in as well. So they may do. Yeah, Fulham may be doing a triple change as well, and rightly so. Smith Rowe, not Smith Rowe. Harry Wilson got knocked down a little bit. But yeah, that's a tale right now. And right now, every Spurs fan they know that they're not out of this now. And they could really, really use the point. But yeah, we got a triple change happening. And Harry Wilson, he was able to get one, so he can't be too upset. But Harry Wilson is coming out. Chukwueze is going to come in for Harry Wilson. Tom Carney's going to come on for ML Smith Rowe. I know he's going to be very disappointed he didn't get that opportunity, but you need to be able to finish. You need to be able to finish, and sadly that did not happen here. Because this should be like a 3 or 4-0 game, and instead we're looking at a 2-1 game. But that's what we got. Each team has used 3 subs. Your lineup: Leno, Tete, Issa Diop, who's been very, very great in the back. Bassi, Sessegnon, Sanderberg. The back line, for the most part, has been really, really good. Alex Iwobi, Chukwueze, Tom Carney, Oscar Bob, and Rodrigo Muniz. Sanderberg's able to find Tete. Fulham able to keep possession. There was a foul. It'll be a free kick for Fulham, but it was Polina fouled. It's Kenny Tete. And it's like, we good? We good. At least you were still wearing a Spurs shirt, and it looks like Josh King is going to come on. And Josh King is going to come on for Oscar Bob. It's been mixed for Oscar Bob, but we gotta remember, hey, we dealt with the same thing with Kevin, so maybe, we're gonna see something similar with him in the future. Josh King, and so the almost the entire attacking 4 with Alex Iwobi still being in there. Sessegnon trying to find Chukwueze. No. Tom Carney, and it goes wide right. And just like that, all three games are 2-1 in this window. Brighton 2-1 over Nottingham Forest. Fulham 2-1 over Tottenham. Man United 2-1 over Palace. He's and there is a foul by Polina. And this was one thing that I kind of miss is we had last season we had the Polina foul counter. Like we literally would have a counter of how many fouls Polina would have in the game. And again, Fulham needs to score. They need to score quick because it's just you need to put this crowd out of their misery, and it's gonna be a foul on Josh King. And what makes it frustrating is that Fulham with six shots, Tottenham with two, but one of them went in, and that's all that really needs to happen. It's gonna be a free kick. Charleston, he wants to get that second one. Dealt with very well by Fulham. Josh King with the possession. Gets it back to Bassey. Carney. Finds Sanderberg up the middle. Sanderberg is not known for that, but a good pass to Chukwueze. Chukwueze going towards the middle. Chukwueze still running. Finds a Wobie. It does not take a deflection. It just sails. Now I'm just checking, make sure people can hear me. It's a break. Richarlison, nothing there. And it's going to be a corner for Spurs. I'm just checking, make sure people can hear me. Yeah, audio check complete. Richarlison. And now, I mean, a game that until the 65th minute seemed like Fulham was going to kind of cruise is now has become a nervy affair. Like it's all changed. It has now it is pretty much all changed. It's going to be a throw in. Someone trying to tap their Rory Delap. That does not happen. Poro. And yeah, this has definitely been Spurs' second half as far as just momentum. Not so much possession as much as momentum. Chukwueze running, trying to find Muniz. Muniz shot on goal, but Vicario easily puts it. Charlton has the first offsides of the game, actually. Sosa's is going to come in. This is only his second appearance for Spurs, and out of bounds. We're now 10 minutes away from stoppage time. Spurs have one substitution left. Fulham has two subs left. And of course, if Fulham gets a draw out of this is almost going to be like a loss, but not. Oh, a good opportunity to get the ball back, Muniz. But Muniz just, I don't know if he's still back up to full fitness. Sessegnon finds Tom Carney, sends it back to Bassi. Nice pass into Carney. Carney about. They're slowly getting into the Spurs half. But nice interception by Spurs. Better one by Fulham. And Sessegnon gets the ball back. Iwobi, Josh King trying to find Iwobi. Iwobi gets it into it. Sessegnon, they won a corner, but it's going to be a goal kick. The crowd doesn't like it. I don't care for it either, but it is what it is. Slowly but surely approaching the 83rd minute. All score lines are still 2-1. Brighton Forest 2-1. Manchester United Crystal Palace 2-1. All in the 83rd, 84th minute. I don't like saying it's anyone's game, but seriously, it is anyone's game. Yeah, very no doubt there. Very Fulhamish. Because yeah, you got. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like you expect this, and it was the same thing in the first game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's like you literally just know that it's just gonna be scrappy. Like it's like these last. I mean, when Kudo scored in the 59th minute, and the other game, it was like you just had to watch these like the next 30 something, nearly 40 minutes, just on eggshells, like this overall nervousness, like can we really hold this? And they've had to do this. They've had to have these, like, when you're not able to keep a clean sheet, it's like you just have these moments where it's like, crap, Fulham may give this up, or Fulham's gonna let this team back in. And it just, that's how you feel from the rest of the game until like they get a third goal. And that's just not something you can always hope with a Fulham game. But Josh King gets it out to Sessegnon, and he's gonna get a throw in because it is kicked out by, I think, Pedro Pelro. 85th minute. And of course, the commentators like stats don't. I mean, the way, because of the score, stats don't tell the full story, and that's true. Fulham a lot of close, but no cigars. It's like you would almost want to say this is a dominating performance, but just based off of shots, based off of possession of the ball. But Tottenham has stayed in it. Vicario really being the main reason. This is not a 4 or 5 nothing game. Chukwueze tried to slide it in. Can't. Nothing happening. Awobi is able to get it back to Tom Carney. Tom Carney's to the ref. The ref slightly gets out of the way for that. Back to Sanderberg. And Tottenham just forcing it back. But more and more time is ticking off the clock. 86 minutes now. Tom Kearney. Sessegnon is offside. The cross tried to get it to Muniz. Doesn't happen. Chukwueze still has it. Chukwueze tries to shoot, but Tell gets to it, and just like that, it's great job by Fulham maintaining possession, but Tottenham's line is holding strong. Sessegnon had a chance, easily taken care of. Richarlison, and he's gonna get the foul by Kevin Bassey. Bassey has to be very, very careful because Bassey is on a yellow. And it's like Sessegnon, great position, just not able to finish this off. Oh, they're talking about the anxiety. Yes, the anxiety is saying fair bit. No, it's not a fair bit. It's legit. The anxiety is very, very legit. A few more views, a few more viewers. Thanks again. This is Jonas Brasco. For those who don't know, we are in Fulhamish time. This is that concern that Fulham may blow this game or they may put it away. Because it's the 88th minute. With the substitutions and Richarlison's goal, I would imagine there's going to be either 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. And I'm just, and if there are any Spurs fans, that I think you should be happy with the substitutions because they've really kept you in this game. Definitely your goalie. Your goalie has kept you in this game. Fulham, again, very quick with the 2-0 lead at the beginning of this game. 2 quick goals. Well, 1 quick, 1 not so quick. And Kawenka is going to come in for a Wobie. And Donso is going to come in as well. And just like that, all the attackers for Fulham have been subbed out. And I'm doing the Dragoson is leaving for Donso. And they have announced 6 minutes of stoppage for this one. And for Fulham, this is gonna. And for Fulham fans, this is gonna be nervy because it always is. It always is a nervy game. Mm, there's nothing else to say. It's just we're gonna see how this one goes. And there is a Spurs player down. Tom Conti's gonna get a card for that. Okay. My stream's slowed down a little bit, so we should be all caught up here. And once again, welcome to Fulhamish time. Everything so tight, so nerve wracking. Every game is this way right now. Every game 2-1. All these games are in stoppage time. Brighton Forest. That's also 6 minutes. Manchester United, Crystal Palace. Because of the penalty, it is and the card. It is 8 minutes of stoppage there. Tottenham with not great there. As things stand now, Fulham if Fulham holds on, they would move up to ninth in the table. They should have moved up to 8 if they could have kept the goal differential, but that's not happening. Richarlison trying to find someone in the middle, and it's going to be another corner. It's another corner. And as always, you see where I'm at. I got to put this back up because there may be people ahead of me. I'm trying my best not to look myself for any spoilers because everything I want to be like when they say live reaction, that like live reaction. But it is a corner for Tottenham. Leno deals with it. Bassi got to be careful. And that's a foul on Polina. And it's also going to be a card, looks like, for Polina. Again, a part of me does miss the Fulham. Oh no, it's not Polina, it's gonna be Pedro Porro. And sometimes there's a part of me that does miss the Polina foul counter. But there's been so many times that we've been blown by it that you want again, you have to that's not acceptable. 95th minute. Everyone, you got your popcorn, you got your drinks. That nervousness is real. Leno gets it away. Muniz trying to get to it. Finds. Oh, he was trying to find Chukwueze. Richarlison trying to get break free there. Not happening. Kearney with a bad kick. Tottenham on the run. Slides it into the box. And they can't really deal with it. And it's going to be another Tottenham corner. And you know it's serious because Vicario is there in the box. Believe it, we're creeping towards it. One last gasp. Cross into the box. Nothing there. Fulham dealing with the danger. 6 minutes have passed. It's a foul. Who needs? It's gonna be one last kick. Burrow with the kick. This game, are we there yet? That's how everything feels like. Are we there yet? Charleston shot. Very, very well defended. The whistle has gone. The whistle has gone. I am really, really tired of games like this. And they kicked us out really quickly. They kicked us out really quickly. My street was like, NBC was like, screw that. Congratulations, Fulham. But let's face it, we really want to see Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Like, literally for a few seconds. I mean, that's slightly messed up, but I get it. I mean, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. But that one went final too. Fulham is able to hold on. Crystal Palace, that red card did it for him. That's all it is. They were playing a really good game. That penalty, that red card, did it for him. Of course, the whistle goes off there. It's 2-1. A very very interesting window. Every game in the not every game in this window ended 2-1. Brighton Forest 2-1, Fulham Tottenham 2-1, Manchester United Crystal Palace 2-1. You got about 30 minutes before Arsenal Chelsea. But ugh. Sometimes you just want to watch a Fulham game and not feel like we have to take, deep breaths coming into the second half. And of course, if we didn't give up that goal, that would have been it. But Fulham, 40 points. That's always a good thing to have. Fulham 40 points, 12 wins, 4 draws, 12 losses. But now we've gotten 2 out of the last 5 with West Ham on Wednesday. For Tottenham, 3 straight losses, winless in 5. They get Crystal Palace. Forest, with their loss, stays just behind Tottenham at 27 points. So the bottom of the table is interesting. Palace is not out, but they're not safe either. They're 14th. They're at 35 points. Leeds has 31. They shouldn't be running scared, but they're close too. Tottenham 29. Forest 27, and then West Ham, because of their loss, they are still in the drop zone with 25. Burnley with 19. And for what it's worth, with 1 win, 2 losses, 2 draws, Wolves are at 13. They've played 29 games. Their magic number hasn't quite hit yet, but it's going to. Because they got Liverpool next, Burnley, they got Everton next. Of course, West Ham has Fulham. Tottenham, they have Crystal Palace. That game is doable for Tottenham. Leeds has Sunderland, Fulham, West Ham. And Everton, since we got to look ahead, Everton, Tied on points. They get Burnley next. Brentford, they're going to take on Bournemouth. And Chelsea, their games in a little bit, they're going to take on Arsenal. So all these games in the next few days are going to be really, really important for Fulham. They're going to be watching other people, but more than anything else, they did what they had to do today. They got the points. They're back to their winning ways with finally two wins. Like they have pretty much done a lot better since that Man City game. Win over Sunderland, the win over Tottenham, their cup win. I mean, this next week is going to be, these next couple of games are going to be very, very interesting for Fulham. You got West Ham on Wednesday. I should be able to stream that. I may be slightly late. And then that Saturday Cup game against Southampton, which means two more games at the Cottage. And then you get Forest on the 15th and in the month with a might be very, very important game at home against Burnley. Like, I do think you got to get, to really make that European run, you do have to get, I feel, at least seven of nine. Out of the available points there, I think you got to get 7 of 9. What does everyone else in the chat thinks? Because I'm about to bounce in a couple minutes, but I'm happy with the result. I'm not happy that we still can't keep a clean sheet. I'm not happy that we can't keep a clean sheet, though. I think you also... I'm trying to think who you give the man of the match to in this one. Because right now, if I'm looking at FOTMob, the man of the match is Alex Iwobi. Which, to be fair, I don't think that's a bad choice. Cedric Wilson, great goal in that first half. And of course, if you're fantasy, you are happy because Harry Wilson gives you both a goal and an assist. But Iwobi, yes, definitely goal of the game. Diop, outside the car, Diop really, really good. Sessegnon, really good. Tete, that back line, again, that back line held. Leno, could he have gotten to the Richarlison goal? Probably. But even so, I can't fully blame him. Everyone got rated is at least a 7 as far as the starting lineup, with the exception of Calvin Bassey and Leno. But yeah, Richarlison is the only one on Spurs that actually has over a 7 rating as he scores. And then of course Gray, he's gonna get some points if you had him in the fantasy because he had the assists. But we're gonna close this one out. This was not a bad game by any means. A lot more nerving than I would have liked. But that's just the way this goes. But to close this out, final score, Fulham 2, Tottenham 1. We'll be back on Wednesday for the game against West Ham. Also going to be at the Cottage. Also a London derby. So definitely tune in. Once again, this is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. I want everyone